All right. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. This should be interesting. I've never done one of these before. I'm just gonna make sure everything is a-okay and is all working. Seems to be. Well, hello. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever time of day it is. I'm not sure what it is. It's been a while. It's been a while since I've done a live stream. I haven't done one since Shiverburn, which is crazy to think about. All right. So today I wanted to try something different. I wanted to yeah, I wanted to just experiment and see what if I did like a what if I streamed working on Blockbench or something. What if I streamed behind the scenes stuff for my next project? It's just something I wanted to try. So today we're going to be making some robots. Well, I guess one is the plan. Just making something, getting something down. We'll see how this goes. For those of you who are unfamiliar with what Blockbench is, basically it is. It's a good question. Um. Okay. Google keeps telling me that there's no audio going through, but I can see there's audio going through. Okay, that's just weird. There's bound to be some problems with the stream every now and again, but we'll see how it goes. So yeah, for those of you who are new to Blockbench, you don't understand what this is. This is basically 3D modeling, um, but made a lot simpler and also made specifically for Minecraft. We'll just see how this goes. I also have subscriber only mode in chat right now. I wasn't sure, like, I might actually turn that off. Let's see, is there anything I can do to... Let's just turn that off. Get some people in chat here, anyone who wants to join. Because at the end of the day, I am looking for feedback as I go. But, yeah, let's get started. So, I'm not going to give much context to what this actually is for, but we're just going to get started. I suppose we'll just see what happens as we go. So I'm gonna get started with the legs. I'm not sure what this is gonna be like. I have no idea what I'm doing as far as like commentary goes, but we'll just kind of see. I should probably pull up my reference image. Okay. So yeah, this is basically Blockbench in a nutshell. We've got blocks that you build with, and they all just kind of like connect to each other using files called groups. These are, I guess you could say, you could think of them like bones. Hi, Marty. How are you doing tonight? I figured I'd try something different. And we're gonna do some Blockbench work today. We'll see how that goes. Also have stream latency really low. Might have to fix that later. But you know, it's first stream. We're still making changes. I'm not sure how tall I want to make this leg. But I guess that's good. We can adjust as we go. just no knees. Well, that's good to hear. Yeah, I just met up with my old friends for the first time in like a few months. I was very glad for that. Alright, so that's 2 legs. They don't look horrible. They're definitely not as detailed as I was like them to be, but it's a start. Let's just see where this goes. Let's just keep... Whoops. Wrong button. Let's just keep going. Let's just see what we can make. That is the idea. Is just make whatever. Make that a little bit thicker on that side. Looks like a lamppost. Yeah, it's... Right now it's very small. To give you... Where's the button? Oh, here we go. To give you an idea on size, that's a player. So I'm not looking to make this... Well, actually, I'm not sure. We'll just kind of build up a body and we'll see how it looks. So I kind of have an idea for what I want this guy to look like. We'll just go from there. That's definitely too tall. And it also needs more details. Actually, I'm fine with the size. I'm fine with the height. That seems like a good height to me. Because I want this guy to be like slightly bigger than the other guy I made. We'll see. I definitely need to see if I can find some music or something. The silence is deafening. How do I want to do this? I got an idea. Shrink. Yeah, well, right now these are all just like basic colors. We'll get to painting it in a second. Well, after we build up the main body. So if I do something like this, and then shrink this middle bit down. Yeah, so the idea... So what I want to make today is I want to make a blaster bot. Something that wields projectiles. I'm going to go ahead and show you the other guy I made. This is the other guy that I made the other day. He's also in the thumbnail. He's just blurred out. So at the end of the day, this is kind of the idea that we're going to be making, except I want to give him a blaster instead of a pickaxe. So I'll keep that guy on screen, or on hand. Yeah, he turned out really cool. And there's like more variants to this guy that I made as well, like different colors. So yeah, this is very basic, but he's got, I'll show you the advanced one. This is the advanced version. You'll note his model is slightly different. There's chimney stacks here, while this one has a bigger central funnel. Is the other guys that we have, or that I made. Now that I'm looking at this, I think this guy needs to be wider. And then we can just resize this. Is that too similar? I don't think so. Not quite sure what to do with the body yet, but I suppose, like, this will do for now. Maybe if I bring these up a little bit, the shape will look a little bit better. Yeah, that'll do it for now. Let's give him some arms. Left. Nope. Right arm. Nope. I can tell left from right, I promise. So let's see, if we bring this over to this side, attaches a single point. We duplicate it, and then we just kind of build it up. Yeah, Blockbench is really simple to use. If you don't know how to do like 3D modeling, or if it's like something you want to get into, this is really like simple and easy to use. You're just building up blocks. I'm gonna change that actually. I'm actually gonna change this guy. Hmm. I'll just make this a little bit. Nope, it's gonna be off center because it's too. No, it's not. This is too block center. This is fine. In which case, something like that. Hmm. I kind of have like a reference image on the side that I'm trying to like, not necessarily copy, but just kind of get some like ideas for shape. Okay, let's go back to the arm. Let's see here. I think I just bring that down like that, and then it's definitely too wide. I'm gonna have to fix that. Hmm. Maybe something like that. I need to bring that down to here, so we'll switch this bone out. We'll give it a lower arm. Now if I take the pivot tool, whoops, and move it up and slightly over. And I gotta rotate. This swings around. And yep, that should be good. Just make that a little bit bigger. I'm not sure where much to go from here. I suppose we should do a hand. Although this block is not perfect square. So we just shift that over. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do something similar to what I did last time on this guy, looking at his hand. Something like that. I would duplicate it and then bring it over here. Do I have it stick out one further? What does that look like? Oh yeah, I can totally do that. bring it to the middle. Stick it out. This is going very well compared to how things normally do. I'm gonna move these guys one up. Doesn't look like they have very good finger attachments. Now I can rotate these. I'm gonna rotate them about like 10 degrees. Inward. And then I need to adjust them. And they are touching. Cool, that's not exactly what I wanted. Maybe if I move them up one? Or does that make it worse? I could argue that makes it worse. Hmm. Maybe if I thin them just a little bit. Not sure how I feel about that. Let's just see if I just go to rotate it. That's not the blaster, that's just gonna be a hand. Hmm. Blaster's gonna be on the other arm. We'll see. I think it's good for now. We'll come back to it later. So we'll duplicate this. Is there a way I can flip it? I can flip it. That kind of works. How's he looking compared to this guy? He is looking very similar to this guy right now. And I don't like that. We definitely have to do something with his main body. Because he is looking pretty identical with some leg differences. The body itself needs to be changed. Kind of figure that out as we go. So this lower arm is going to be the blaster. I'm not sure how this is going to render in-game with the animations, but I suppose that's just going to be something we have to test later. So it's got the same pivot points. So I'm going to set that to 90 just for ease of use. Now we get to make the blaster. Alright. So how do I want to do this? How do I want to do this next section? So this is only the basic design. So he's going to be powered off of, I want to say coal. I'm pretty sure. So what would that look like? Just a cannon, maybe? We do something like basically just a hand cannon. Hmm. Not really sure what to do about this. Maybe something like that for a basic shape. What does it look like rotated down? Looks absolutely ridiculous. So now if we rotate it, I kind of want to have it like the pivot point in the middle. And we'll just do that. That looks a little bit better. And what else do we do with this? Not really sure where I want to take the shape with this. I suppose I could just start by adding just little extra bits on the bottom. Give it a little bit more shape. At the end of the day, I really don't know what I'm doing. I'm just kind of fiddling around and see what I can get to work. Probably gonna have to make them thinner as well, because I don't know where the projectiles... This is fairly into the third column. I think the projectiles shoot out the middle. Maybe I'm going at this from the wrong angle. Wonder if maybe... What if I had the cannon as his head instead of his arm? Because I'm trying to think later down the road when I upload this to not Blockbench, M Creator, and we go to shoot projectiles from this thing. Projectiles usually shoot from the face. So what if I did the cannon as... What if I did the blaster as his face up top instead of on his arm? That's an idea that is worth experimenting with. So go back to this point. What if I did something crazy with his face? And so if I drop the body down to like here or so, and then we did some sort of like cannon in the middle. I think I like that idea better. But how is this gonna look though? That's always the question. Then I gotta figure out how to make... Well, if I did something like this, let me just do a test of shape. I don't want it connecting to the sides. I think it'd be cooler if it didn't. So if I bring this back over here and then I had this sticking out. So it just has this cannon sticking out of its stomach, basically. And then we have like a little head up top. Something like... Just something like this. Would be pretty wild. And I could definitely make this look cooler. And then like on the back here, we just have like a barrel or something, or like an ammo case or something. So it's like this would be like the cannon. And then we just have his little face up ahead on top. I could see this working. And the arms kind of feel out of place. As weird as that sounds. I say we try this. Stick these two in a bone head. We'll come back to that later. I'm gonna extend this out the back a little bit. Decisions. Maybe something like that, maybe? And I've got a wild animal running around in the house. How delightful. Let me change this color. So I have a better idea of what I'm looking at. I do think this is a cool idea, having it through the chest. Definitely need something like a fuse box out the back. I'm just gonna lower this. I'm actually gonna delete this for now, until I can get the shape of this cannon right. Something's going on in the hall. I like that better. First of all, is this perfectly square? Yes, it is. It's perfectly square. Now in the body, I think we need to add a new cube. Somewhere like in the middle of this thing. It is kind of hard to see, and I'm gonna fix that a little bit later. We need like an axle that the cannon mounts to. I think it'd be really cool if like this whole thing, just like when it shot, just like jerked up. Let me see if I can't center the pivot point on that. That should do. So like when it shot, it just goes boom. Something like that. What in the world is going on outside? I don't think this is horrible. I think this is a pretty good start. Just like imagining that running at the player, stopping, and then shooting. Slightly larger than, yeah, that's basically at head level. Is this just giant cannon? And we can make this cannon a little bit better as well. We can do this. Just bring this back like a few layers. Just to add a little bit of details. So like what would normally be like the scope is actually its head. I think that's a pretty cool idea. Now, upscaling this is gonna be odd at best. I feel like I want to do something different with the arms. For sure, I want to make this thinner. He's a bit too wide for my takes. I think that helps a little bit. I wonder if I gave him 4 legs. That's an idea. I gave him 4 legs just so it looks like he's more stable. Because, like, I feel like this guy is just going to shoot, and then his whole body is just going to fall over from the force. So what if I added a 3rd leg? A back leg. Oh, I guess the rotation doesn't matter then. Let's just move it out of the way. And then just move it back. I'm also going to take the opportunity to move these legs back an extra. And we'll just make this slightly wider. Not sure how this leg is going to look like animation-wise, but I think that looks a little bit like more sturdy. I'm gonna shrink them. Shrink this bits down a little bit. Something like that. I almost feel like this leg should be attached up here. As if this is just like a brace, and not like an actual functioning leg. I could do something crazy. I think we're gonna do something crazy. I'm gonna move this up. Like... about to like here. And then what if I rotated this 45 degrees and extended it out? I think I like that. And this leg can get moved back a little bit. This block can actually be brought in. It's not as long. I'm going to duplicate this, rotate it the other way. Do that, and then, yeah, something like that. And then the right leg we bring forward as well. So this guy's like a mini tank, basically. I'm very curious if we have its pivot point. I probably need to do this with both legs. If we have its pivot point like here, how does this look rotated? Doesn't actually look bad. So I think I can actually get away with this. Not sure how this leg's gonna look. I suppose that's fine. I'm quite happy with the legs. I think it looks really cool. I definitely think this guy looks... I think he looks really cool, actually. I wonder if we... Does he need arms? If I just hide his arms... Nah, I kind of want him to have arms. I do think the head needs more detail, though. I'm actually gonna embed the head into the blaster, so that way when the blaster rotates, the head rotates as well. I think this looks pretty good. Definitely not what I was expecting, but I kind of like it. I like that he has 3 legs. Alright, now for the fun part. I got import palette. Metal palette. Now for the fun part of painting him. Did I do a power source on this guy? I guess I can kind of have it embedded onto the sides. What do you guys think? People in chat, what do you think? I like him. I think he's cool. I think this is gonna look really well. It looks ridiculous from the side. I do like the cannon in the front. It'll be interesting because when I do the advanced, this cannon will be a little bit different. And then when I do the elite, this thing is going to be probably less bulky. Because right now he's very bulky, and that's kind of like the vibe that I want. Is like the basic ones are a little bit more bulky than the advanced ones or the elite ones. I can actually show you what an elite looks like. So this is the elite one. And then like compared to the advanced, like there's not this tank on the back, and also the weapon's switched out. As far as this guy's concerned, I think we're ready to create a texture for this. Basic blaster bot texture. So now he has a lot more color. And I'm very curious if I went into paint. What is this color? Okay. I need to remember that. Oh, sweet. It's already set up. So I'm just going to start by coloring pretty much everything a solid color. And then we'll go back and recolor anything that got missed. Except for the head and the cannon. I'm not going to do those first. Or I'm not going to do those yet. And then we've got, like, I'm assuming it's just the next color down. Yeah, it's the next color down. As our border. Then what I like to do is I like to just outline everything. It's kind of like an edge. Then we'll go in and add more details like bolts and vents and circuits and buttons and stuff. What I could probably do is, where is tool? Draw shape. Tool. Do that. That probably, yeah, that saves me a lot of time because I can just do that. Do it on top as well. I think I want the cannon to be a darker color. Same with the edges there. I'm actually just gonna like hide everything. This is for what I'm using. So there we go. Now I can actually see everything. All right, now we're at like a little bit more chill part. I can actually like think and paint. That's gonna be a problem. Blank that one so I can get this inside. Place on the edge. We'll do one there. Just drawing boxes right now. We'll add some more details a little bit later. Paint bucket tool. Just do that. And the shape tool. That's basic done. Actually, we can switch this to face. That'll make things a little bit easier. A little bit of a darker color. Oh, I didn't do that side. Oh well. No biggie. There we go. That is body done. Do the arms next. Hide those so I don't accidentally paint them. I'm actually going to do something different. I'm only going to do it down to there, because this bottom bit is going to be special. I'm also going to do that. Let's see. I made the hands, I left the hands as a lighter color, but I'm not going to do the same. Well, maybe I will. Goodness me, that one little pixel. Let me see if I can't spot that. Yeah, this just looks like a mess. Oh, it's here. Right? Yeah, it's there. Oops. Now, I know this isn't like the most entertaining thing in the world, but you gotta trust the process. This is like, this is kind of like what I wanted, why I wanted to stream, is because this isn't like a very entertaining process, and I wanted to like, I don't know, get some other people involved and have some fun conversations and chat and just talk about our day and, you know, have some socializing time. Because at the end of the day, I do need to hang out with more people. And when I did Shiverburn for like forever, that took me like 17 months, and those 17 months I could have spent like hanging out with friends or doing other things that are quote unquote more productive. But I chose to make Shiverburn instead. And I don't regret my decision. I just kind of wish I had more people involved, and yeah, it was a process. So I'm trying to change that with this next project, which I'm not ready to discuss yet. I don't know when I'll be ready, but I do want to discuss what this project actually is for and what it's going to be like. But I don't want to talk about it just yet, because I know myself. I know my tendencies. I'm going to be a spoiled brat and blab all about it, and then it's not going to get done, and I'm just going to be disappointed with myself, and I know myself. I know my tendencies. So I'm going to just try to avoid that best I can. I really should have put mirror painting on. I regret not doing that now. I 100% should have just put mirror painting on. So let's see. Connect colors. We just do that. Boom, 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 and boom. That's the arms. Let's do element. Just double check that as well. Okay. Basics done for those categories. Now the legs. Oh, that was the backside. Hide you, hide you, hide you. Mirror painting. So if I did right leg. Sweet. That works. Let me have a look at this guy. This guy has like slightly darker shade on the bottom. So I think, I don't, I know for sure, like, I want to save the darker colors for later. So for the time being, we'll just do that. I've got stripes on this guy as well. I should probably just use the normal paintbrush, to be honest. Oh well, I made that leg. I made the legs the perfect height. Nice even stripes, look at that. I like I like doing stripes this simple way. We'll just kind of fill in the rest of this leg. Add some little checkers here. Not sure where it's supposed to be, but it looks cool. Not do that. Now, coloring the feet. Do I want the feet to be lighter or darker? The feet here are kind of darker. So I think what I want to do is just kind of frame this out. Frame these feet out. These toes, I guess you could say. And then just like leave it as that. Let's see, how does this guy look? I do want to change the bottom though. Face be just slightly darker. And then we just gotta do the same for the back leg. Simple. And because I have mirror painting on, I only have to do one side. Wait. It's probably the same color, but you know what? I'm going for it. Let's just have it. Alright, now I have to turn off mirror modeling because it's not gonna work if mirror modeling is or mirror painting is on. Oops. So far, obviously I need more details. Am I sure I got the right colors on these outlines? I don't. Interesting. So what I can do is... That makes more sense. You just brighten that up a little bit. I think I'm gonna leave the legs as they are because I do like how the legs turned out. Oh, I just realized these are not long enough. So let's fix that. I'm gonna, oops, resize. It's gonna break the texture a little bit. Still not low enough. All right, and that should do it. I should fix it. Quite happy with this so far. All right. Now Scrapperbot has all these like bolts and stuff, and they are definitely a darker color. So let's just add those into place. Basically just every corner. This does a lot, surprisingly, for how simple it is. Like, you can tell it already looks more like metallic and stuff. Can't do bolts everywhere because they would just stack next to each other, but I can do them in a bunch of different places. This guy definitely seems bigger than the other. At least his texture does. Just do that. Just top and bottom. It's quite simple. What I've learned is the simpler you make things, the easier it is to like complete something. Like, don't ever overdo it when it comes to like texturing. At least like at the basic of levels. I probably could have turned mirror modeling on and yeah, it saves me some pain. Just do a bolt there. And just like that, he's got nuts and bolts. Now, this cannon. First thing I would like to do is change its color. That's going to do a lot. Except that's too dark. Now what I would like to do is add some more details on the side of this thing. Like that. I turned off the body. Oh yeah, that works. Alright, I'm gonna turn it back on. Do something like that. Then what I would like to do is, just for the time being, just turn that dark. And then I need to switch out the palette for this one. And then we can add some, whoops. Oh well. Then we can add some fire. Down the sides. I think this is gonna look really cool. Just like something like that. I'm not actually sure how far I should bring this up. I think that will do. And then what I could do now, let's add bars throughout here. And we'll add like little gates. Something like that. Turn the body back on. And then fill that probably with that. And then we get our squares. Turn that off. Something like that. And then this guy will probably end up shooting some form of fire-based projectile, is my guess, for the basic. That's something we can do in the back. Something similar. Just on the back side. I think this guy looks actually quite cool. He's got 3 legs, a cannon through his face. Well, a cannon for a head, basically. And then we have to do his head, which I'm going to do something similar to what I did here. So another thing I did is I had like little like I guess you could say like splotches, things like this to add a little, just a little bit more detail. I think I like that. Just like little bits of corrosion, just to add like some, add a little bit more just detail. I think that'll end up looking nice. Just do like some slightly bigger patches here. What do we think? I think that looks a lot better. Just like a little bit of noise. Just every so often. Kind of breaks up the smoothness of everything. Because it is very smooth currently. So far, I think this looks good. Oh, I forgot to do the underside of this. How did I forget? There's no bolts here. Oops. Yeah, there's a lot to just double check to make sure you got everything. I think that looks pretty good. I think that looks pretty good. Just want to add like a little bit of something up here. Just to add some more detail. This guy is going to have a melee attack, but he's mainly going to be projectile. Now, face. I think something like this should work. Whoops. Hmm. I don't like that as well as I thought I would. If we just did that. I think that'll do for its head. If I brought it down to the bottom. It almost seems like the head needs to be... Hmm. I like how everything else turned out. It's just this head. It's not exactly what I was hoping for. What if we did it a little bit taller? If we just did that, maybe we should do it like that then. I'm actually gonna make this change. Put that in there. So it's just that as his head. I'm gonna make it 1 block taller. Not yet. Where's the button? Where is that now? Oh, it's all the way over there. Whoops. There we go. I like that better. There we go. Now he has like a little bit of a face. Oh, no, I'm not sure I like that now. No, I'm not sure I like that. But I do think overall it turned out really nice. I'm quite happy with this so far. I think this looks I think this looks pretty good. I'm very curious how we're going to turn this into advanced, but for the time being, this looks pretty nice. He's got a cannon, he's got a little his what is that? The cider is actually his head and his face. And he's just pretty simple, straightforward. Now I am gonna add I would like to add some like vents or some like heating vents or something like here. Or perhaps like down here would be better. So what if I just like, whoops. I walled that off. And just did something like this. Just something like that. Add just a little bit more detail. What do you guys think? I think it looks pretty nice. And compared to the Scrapper bot, I think he turned out really cool. Now, one thing's for certain is we're gonna have to make a advanced version, which is gonna be green, and I feel like the gun is, or the cannon's gonna be a little bit different. Maybe less bulky, but essentially the same guy. Then we need to make an elite and then also a supreme, because for this particular project, one thing I'm doing differently with the enemies is I want the enemies, the different tiers, to have different models. So when I did Shiverburn, all of the soldiers were just indistinguishable from each other. The only difference was the color of their gloves. And I don't want to do that with this project. I want to make it so everything has like distinct features and isn't like it looks better than or whatever. I don't even know what I'm saying. Different mobs or different tiers of mobs have different different models and different textures and stuff, not just the color of the gloves, but also like the trims. I guess the advanced and then the basic is a good example of this. Whereas like it's just slightly different model. Like the main difference here is just the fuel tank. That's the only difference. But yeah, so it's like it's essentially the same thing, but different. And I think he turned out quite nice. Quite nice indeed. Well, I am gonna wrap things up here. It is starting to get a little bit late. We did manage to get our little blaster bot here. Well, I guess he's not really little. He's actually quite big. But we do have him fully designed and textured. If you're watching this stream in the replay, let me know in the comments what you guys think. What would you do differently? How would you tweak it, change it? Very much open to feedback. But yeah, this is our blaster bot, and in the next stream probably we're gonna make an advanced, elite, and supreme variant, which are just gonna be a little bit different. Also still essentially the same. So we'll see how that goes. I'm gonna go ahead and call it quits there, and thank you guys for watching.